Try it right now. Take one finger and drag it slowly across your palm or under your arm, wherever you feel most tickled when someone else does it. Feels like almost nothing, right? Now imagine a friend doing the exact same motion, same speed, same spot. You would flinch. Same touch, same nerve endings. Totally different experience. Your brain does something specific to create that gap, and it happens before you even move your hand. This process is called an efference copy. It begins in your motor cortex the moment you decide to move. When your brain sends the command for your fingers to move, it also sends a duplicate of that command to a prediction center in the back of your brain called the cerebellum. The cerebellum uses that copy to create a forward model, which is a precise, pre-computed guess of what sensation is coming, on which part of your skin, at exactly what moment. When the actual touch arrives and matches the prediction closely, your brain treats it as old news. Nothing unexpected happened, so there's nothing worth noticing. You can see this system in action with another example. Close one eye and gently push on the side of your other open eyeball with a fingertip through your eyelid. The world will look like it jumps and swims, even though you know it isn't moving. Now stop pushing and move your eyes normally, scanning the room the way you do thousands of times a day. The world stays perfectly still, even though your eyes are moving in similar patterns and the image sliding across your retina is just as displaced. The difference comes from which movements have a prediction attached. Self-generated eye movements come with an efference copy that tells the visual system how the world should shift, so the shift gets cancelled out before you ever perceive it. A finger pushing your eye from outside comes without this warning, so the same changing image feels like the world is actually moving. Researcher Sarah-Jayne Blakemore at University College London confirmed this is not just a behavioral pattern but also a measurable neural one. Using fMRI, her team discovered that when a touch is self-produced, activity drops in the somatosensory cortex, the area that processes the sensation of touch, and in the anterior cingulate cortex, which is connected to how pleasant or unpleasant a sensation feels. Both regions react much more strongly when someone else delivers the same touch. Your brain is not imagining the difference. It's truly turning down the signal volume for something it already expected. Quick question before we continue. When you tried it on your palm, did you feel nothing, or just a much duller version of a real tickle? Tell me in the comments, because it's not zero for everyone. Here's where it gets interesting. Blakemore's team didn't just confirm the effect, they figured out how to disrupt it. They built a simple robotic setup. A person moved one hand on a lever, and that motion was mechanically transferred to a piece of foam stroking their other palm, but with a short delay, between 100 and 300 milliseconds. That tiny lag was enough. The moment the actual sensation arrived slightly later than the cerebellum's prediction, the touch felt much more ticklish, almost as ticklish as a stranger's touch. The prediction hadn't just failed to match, it had missed by a fraction of a second. That little delay was enough to make your brain surprise itself. There's an even stranger confirmation of how important this prediction system is to your sense of self. In this same research, some patients with certain schizophrenia symptoms, specifically, what clinicians call passivity experiences, where one feels their actions are controlled by an outside force, were able to tickle themselves without any delay, something almost nobody else can do. Researchers suggest that in these specific cases, the link between the motor command and its expected sensory result is disrupted, so the brain can't confidently label the touch as self-generated. Some researchers argue this is connected to why an action can start to feel like it's done by someone else instead of yourself. It's a striking, if still being studied, look into how much of what you call you depends on this quiet predictive system working correctly in the background. Put all three findings together, and here's the actual answer to the question in the title. You can't tickle yourself because your brain has an extremely precise, very fast internal model of your own actions. It uses that model to cancel out the sensations it already expects. It's not a bug or a missing feature. It shows that somewhere in your head, a system is constantly, silently answering the question, did I do that, or did something else? And it answers effectively enough times per second that you never even notice it's working until you try to trick it with a robot arm. A brief note on the evidence here. The efference copy and forward model system is well established across decades of motor control and perception research, not just limited to tickling. The fMRI findings on reduced activity in the somatosensory and cingulate areas for self-produced touch come from Blakemore's own peer-reviewed imaging studies and have held up well. The delay experiment is a real, replicated behavioral result. The schizophrenia connection is a genuine finding, but it comes from a specific symptom profile within a broader and varied condition. It's a fascinating data point about the predictive mechanism, not a general claim about anyone's experience with that diagnosis, and shouldn't be seen as more than that. So next time someone tickles you and you wonder why you can't do that to yourself, now you know. Somewhere in your cerebellum, a prediction beat your own hand to the finish line. Tell me below, were you just finding out you could actually break the effect with a delay, or did you already know the robot arm trick?